Just the tips with Gamertag. Whee! Mario Kart! Hey guys, it's Gamertag, and right now I'm playing a game that a friend with kids loaned me. It's Mario Kart for the Wii. It seems interesting, but then it's like it comes with this too, which to me says that this game was made to make babies learn stuff. Oh, okay, there we go. Good luck making a baby do that. Oh, geez. Whoa. Whoa! Whoa! Here's what I hope doesn't happen. Babies getting the idea that because of this game they can drive. Wait until you're 16, partner. The trickiest part about this game is trying to avoid those mystery boxes. So if you drive over a real banana peel with your actual car, are you going to go flipping out like in this game? Yep, and I've seen it happen in real life. Wario is such a cop-out because he's just basically Mario with mean eyebrows. So that's Mario Kart for the Wii. It's fun. It's going to teach your baby stuff. So if you've got a baby, buy it for them. And in no time, they're going to be a complete baby genius, just like me. Mario Kart for babies? You just got tagged. A gamer tag film!
Today we've got the world premiere trailer for Space Siege and brand new Gears of War 2 details.
Plus, we sit down with Phil Harrison and show you brand new Alone in the Dark gameplay. X-Play starts right now.
Hello and welcome to X-Play, the only video game show to once eat its weight in shrimp. I'm Adam Sessler.
And I'm Morgan Webb. We're coming to you from the G4 Studios in Los Angeles on Tuesday, May 27th. Hope y'all had a good Memorial Day.
Now, later in the show, we'll crush some mandibles in our preview of Don King's Prize Fighter. And we'll take a sneak peek at tomorrow's Zero Punctuation. But first, let's get all of today's top headlines in the gaming update.
New Gears of War 2 multiplayer details have emerged from the UK version of Xbox 360 magazine. Up to 10 players will be able to gun it out in 5-on-5 multiplayer matches. A new gameplay mode called Meat Flag asks teams to shoot down a marked man and drag him back to their base as a meat shield. Gears 2 will also feature a Halo-style matchmaking system and a new power weapon called the Medusa that fires 6 shells each shot. 360 owners will also be able to carry metal bullet shields while firing a pistol. The shields can also be slammed into the ground to create a new fixed cover. Rock Band is giving iTunes and Amazon a run for their money. According to data provided by Motley Crue's management, the band's latest single, titled Saints of Los Angeles, secured over 47,000 downloads in 1 week through the Xbox 360 version of Rock Band. The single was released on the PlayStation Network and the Xbox Live Marketplace on April 15th. By comparison, the single has only been downloaded around 10,000 times through popular music services like iTunes and Amazon, despite a lower price point. And finally, Funcom has announced that Age of Conan Hyborian Adventures is one of the fastest-selling PC games of all time. Over the weekend, more than 400,000 gamers signed up to quest through the land of Hyboria. At least half of those who signed up were gamers from the North American market. So far, the game's impressive pre-order numbers appear to have transferred into actual sales. We'll let you know if the hype is real with our review of the game later in the week. That's it for today's gaming update. For the latest news, be sure to check our website, which is g4tv.com/xplay. But now let's go over to Adam, whose fire-starting abilities are about to come in handy.
As long as it strike anywhere. Thanks, Morgan. The reboot of the Alone in the Dark series is already causing quite a stir. People are lighting things on fire in Central Park in eager anticipation of the game's release. To find out more about Edward Carnby and his pyromaniacal tendencies, here's your all-access look. Summer's almost here, and you know what that means. You get to break out the short shorts. Oh, and there's also the upcoming Alone in the Dark date.
Alone in the Dark definitely hits some high points in cinematic presentation, and is clearly influenced by a lot of the contemporary TV shows, but at its heart, it's a video game, and it's a video game that demands to be played. It's a game that's going to challenge the player, reward the player, but at its heart has got an incredible narrative structure that will take you through this epic journey to discover what is really going on in Central Park.
And the story is easy to explore thanks to the game's unique DVD interface.
And it will allow everybody who buys this game to experience all of the narrative structure. But I think it will also reward players who are the higher skilled players, because we've interlinked the achievements into how much of the DVD skipping you actually use or not. And we wanted people to have a chance to move around the story a little bit, but not too much. So we do constrain that. We don't allow the player to skip right to the very end and see the very end of the whole game from the get-go. And another influence was going to be looking at the contemporary TV shows, whether it's Lost or 24 or some other shows. One of the very strong aspects of those shows is each week at the very beginning of the new episode there's a previously on ... And so we wanted to borrow some of that terminology in reminding the player where they were in the story and how the progression was going towards that narrative arc.
Now, aside from muggers and the homeless, what's so scary about Central Park?
Our lead game designer, who went to New York 10 years ago, and it was the first time he came in New York City, the city of lights, and suddenly he comes to this huge rectangular blackness in the city of lights, and the contrast really amazed him. And when he started walking into Central Park, suddenly he felt like he was going into a parallel world, and that really scared him. It's more scary being in an open environment because danger can come from all around you than just from behind you and in front of you. We wanted it to be more of the suggestive fear, something that builds up in tension.
And with the Havoc physics engine, it's scary how realistic the game is.
The question I would like to ask the players to ask themselves is this: can I do this in the real world? If they can say yes to that, and they can do that in the game.
All right, I know what you're thinking. You can never get enough Adam Sessler. Who can blame you? Get on the computer and video chat with me live after tonight's show. That's 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 for you West Coasters. And go to stickcam.com/xplay to go one-on-one with me. But now, let's go back over to Morgan.
The developers that brought you Dungeon Siege are back with a brand new game that also has Siege in the title. Only this time they take you out of the dark recesses of the dungeon and put you in the dark recesses of space. Here's the world premiere trailer. Have you ever played a lousy Xbox 360 game, knew one of your friends would see it on your achievement list, and then bust you for it later? Well, that right there is the definition of a guilty pleasure. I mean, you know it's bad, but you can't stop loving it. Really, there's no shame in guilty pleasures. We have them too. Here's our top 10. Landing at a number 10 on XPlay's list of guilty pleasures is Lost by Adobe.
You might not like what you see.
As you can probably guess, the game isn't very good. Just a lot of running around and wasting time, much like Season 3. But it made our list because the inner Lost fan within enjoyed getting a chance to visit the mysterious island. Just don't let your friends see you playing. Yes, at number 9 is a pair of guilty pleasures. House of the Dead 2 and 3 are the pinnacle of the cheeseball franchise.
How could anyone do this?
We don't mind admitting that we love the shooting part, but how can you not be embarrassed by dialogue this bad? Come! Don't come! Go away! Go away! Dynasty Warriors Gundam comes in at number 8.
I've got a bad feeling.
The guilty pleasure because, well, it's basically a Dynasty Warriors game with gigantic fighting robots in outer space. How cool is that, though? And simultaneously, how lame is that? It's like mixing Naruto with lightsabers. We may hate ourselves for it, but deep down, we love it.
Imagine that.
Number 7 is the original Tenchu Stealth Assassins for the PS1.
It looks like you chose the wrong party to crash.
It may not have aged all that gracefully, but it's a guilty pleasure because Tenchu taught us everything we needed to know in life. That any problem can be solved with a quick ninja assassination.
My money! My money! Your greed sickens me. I hope your death is a lesson to others.
Shaking its way into the 6th spot is the Dance Dance Revolution series. Let's face it, these games have terrible graphics and ear-punishing soundtracks. But they earned a place on our list of guilty pleasures because deep down, we love shaking our groove thing despite the potential embarrassment.
Yeah, we just submitted to playing DDR. We'll have the rest of the list later on in the show, so keep it here. We'll be back.
Coming up on X-Play, Pro Gamer T-Squared has more Halo 3 tips that will send you on a killing spree in Standoff. Then we take a sneak peek at tomorrow's Zero Punctuation review. See what Yahtzee has to say about The World Ends With You. Plus, we step into the virtual ring as we preview Don King Presents Prize Fighter. Only in America, and only on X-Play. Stay tuned. Yeah. T4 X-Play.
Want to ride my tail? Hey, it won't cost you a dime. Indie Games begins in 60 seconds.
Rated.
Welcome to Indie Games, your minute's worth of free online fun. You know that classic Hollywood fighter pilot move where they trick two approaching missiles into hitting each other? Well, how do you know if you're any good at that? Well, try Missile Matador. You start each level with an increasing number of warheads aimed straight at you. And your mission is to draw these missiles into collision courses with each other without getting hit. So now you'll know what you're doing the next time you commandeer a fighter from the carrier deck and take on some crazy Maverick mission to, of course, save the world and hopefully get the girl. Hey, hit me up online at g4tv.com/indiegames for links to this and other free fun. Until next time, I'm Kevin Pereira. What do you want for nothing?
Welcome back to X-Play. Your domination of the Halo 3 Variety Map Pack continues today as Pro Gamer T-Squared shares more of his tips and tricks for Standoff. You really should listen to him. This is his day job.
What's up, everybody? I'm Tom Taylor. But you know me as T-Squared. I'm part of the MLG team, straight ripping. I've got the Halo 3 tips that'll have you fragging like a pro. Here's my personal strategy on the map Standoff. It'll give your team the upper hand. This map is exactly how it sounds. It's a standoff, and that's how you play it. The way you do it is you get 3 teammates. They're the support players, and then you get one who's a slayer. The slayer of your team goes and gets the camo on the rockets, while the other 3 teammates cover him. Then he goes, sneaks his way over, and blasts the other team to pieces. The other 3 teammates are what I like to call support players. It may not be as fun as getting the main slayer, and you may not get the big stats, but it's a vital role. All you do is hide behind a rock and peek shoot. If you have a good shot and you're smart, then you're gonna get kills anyway. Don't cry about it. Peek, 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 dead. Timing power-ups and power weapons is key on every map, but it's especially important on Standoff. Gotta keep track of that camouflage. It's 3 minutes from the time that you pick it up. And then after that, every 3 minutes it's yours. Keep your eye on that bottom right-hand timer. It's your best friend. You have to know the camouflage time. How are you gonna sneak across the map and flank everybody when they can see you? You've gotta get the camouflage. Follow these tips and your team will be standing tall in Standoff.
You know, there are certain benefits to working on a show like X-Play. I get to play video games before they come out, wardrobe gnomes put on my pants for me, and I force the PAs to call me His Royal Cessness. But one of the biggest perks is being able to take a sneak peek at tomorrow's Zero Punctuation today. And now, I pass it on to you.
A major thing that turns me off JRPGs, and a lot of games in general, is when I don't feel that I, as a player, am contributing anything to the story. All I ever seem to do is wheel the characters from one whingy, boring dialogue to the next. Events are driven by their actions, not mine. All I am is a little angry id who takes over for the combat, spending the rest of the time jumping up and down in the back of the main character's mind, yanking on nerve endings, trying to make him stop acting like a pillock. I'll show you what I mean. At one point in the second part of the game, I was given the clue 30 plus 74. Assuming your brain is located inside your skull and not your rectum, you can probably hazard that this adds up to 104, which was the pretentious name of a pretentious clothes shop near my starting location. But I couldn't actually go there because the street was closed off. It only opened after I went to another nearby location and sat through another dialogue-heavy cutscene in which I was bold-facedly told the answer to the puzzle. This is not interactive storytelling, this is just reading. I know Japan has a very different culture to the West, but I will never understand why they like the visual novel style of game so much. The porno ones I can sort of understand, at least there's the promise of to keep you motivated, but most of them play like choose-your-own-adventure books with half the pages ripped out, which kind of goes against the whole idea of gaming.
Remember, you can get Zero Punctuation's full, uncensored review of The World Ends With You only at escapistmagazine.com. And X-Play will have new previews every Tuesday night.
You know, when X-Play returns, we preview Don King's new pugilistic puncher, Prize Fighter.
But before we go, we've got some good news. Code Monkey's GeForce smash hit animated comedy of 8-bit proportions returns with Season 2.
The all-new second season starts Sunday night at 7, only on G4. And check out the web premiere right now on break.com.
Go to g4tv.com/codemonkeys for the full story. And to tide you over till then, check out this sneak peek.
Behold, there is a creature, half rooster, half goblin. He is a demi-beast worthy of Tolkien, if I do say so myself. And I do, and I did.
What the hell is that?
That is the cock goblin. Yes, my friends, rejoice. Celebrate my genius. Ha ha, ha indeed. Cock goblin will swallow entire villages. Cock goblin will suck life out of every man he comes across.
Wait, what's it called again?
Cock goblin.
G4 presents an epic conflict for gaming's most controversial world record. The King of Kong, Sunday at 5, only on G4.
On June 6th. Here are 3 good reasons. 681.
Take G4 on the road. Download this show now as a G4 podcast.
Welcome back to X-Play. Don King is responsible for a lot of things. The Rumble in the Jungle, the Thrilla in Manila, and the Jackson's 1984 Victory Tour. Now the famous promoter is stepping into the world of video games with Prize Fighter, and here's a preview.
Ah, boxing. The sweet science. The greatest sport man has ever seen. Well, until the sleazy, dirty promoters took over and ruined the sport for all time. Which brings us to Don King Presents Prize Fighter.
Good fights, bad fights. I've seen them all.
For those that don't know, Don King is a former Nobel Peace Prize winner, only interested in bringing goodness to America, the greatest country in the world.
But if America didn't have a Don King, they'd have to invent one.
Oh, Don King, you've screwed boxers out of millions. It appears that 2K Sports is trying to come up with an answer to the highly successful boxing game, Fight Night Round 3. There's almost 36 fighters in the game who sold their soul to Don King. Luminaries like Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. That's kind of like going to see Frank Sinatra, and Frank Sinatra Jr. comes out. How about Shannon Briggs? He fought George Foreman in the 90s. And they'll be fighting in over 20 gyms and arenas. What's that smell?
Here at the New Jersey Ice Arena.
Oh, it's Jersey. If you don't want to fight as bankrupt boxers who need to keep fighting to pay their child support, you can create your own boxer and lead him on a full career mode adventure to Palookaville, documentary style.
Even the greatest oak was once a little acorn.
We made our boxer unshapely, flabby, and with pink trunks, just like a gamer. It looks like the two main activities here are training and boxing. You can't just step into the ring, you know. You gotta go back to the beginning. You gotta get that look back, that eye of the something or other. You know, even Rocky had a montage. Will this game be as big as Fight Night Round 3? That question and many more will be answered in just a few weeks when the game officially comes out. Will Don King presents Prize Fighter Make You Eat Lightning or Crap Thunder? We'll find out soon. Till then, if I can change and you can change, everybody can change. And now, because we were too embarrassed to name them all at once, here's the rest of the list of our top 10 guilty pleasure games.
At number 5 on our list of guilty pleasures is the formidable Karaoke Revolution series. These games come with a microphone peripheral so that you can make an idiot out of yourself as loudly as possible.
And I owe it all to you.
Yes, your neighbors will actually hate you as much as you hate yourself for enjoying this primo guilty pleasure. Choo Choo Rocket comes in at number 4. If you've already forgotten this Dreamcast puzzle game, perhaps this will refresh your memory. Despite the sickeningly cute characters that populate the title, it's a pleasure for us because of the brain-bending puzzles. At number 3, we have Rune Factory of Fantasy Harvest Moon.
Thank you very much.
We never thought we'd say this, but there's something strangely addicting about maintaining a Japanese radish farm. This guilty pleasure is for your DS, so you can always close the system and lie to your friends that you're playing a cooler game. Rumble Roses XX takes the number 2 spot because, well, just look at it. No game that features women in outfits like these could possibly be good, right? Well, the game actually functions okay, and if you like what you see, worth buying. Provided nobody ever finds out that you've purchased it. But nothing could embarrass you quite as much as our number 1 guilty pleasure, Kingdom Hearts. As if it weren't bad enough that the game is loaded with kid-friendly Disney characters, it also stars Final Fantasy favorites like Cloud. We're just gonna lay it on the line here and come clean. We like playing this bizarre mashup. It's not just a chance to see Squall Leonhardt interact with Donald Duck, it's also our number 1 guilty pleasure of all time.
Tomorrow on X-Play, get your Zach boys ready. We have an all-access pass to explore Little Big Planet. Then, will the Xbox 360 version of Lost Planet Colonies leave you out in the cold? We'll tell you if this double dip is worth $30 in our review. And later in the week, we'll talk with Donkey Kong master Steve Wiebe about life after King of Kong, and if he's ready to reclaim his title.
Plus this, our all-access look at Strong Bad's WiiWare game.
See you next time. Thanks for watching.